Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to today's session. So today we are going to do a session on CAT 2026 and we are basically looking at answering your questions, right? So the idea behind this session is me getting to interact with all of you and discussing what exactly should be the path going forward and what all things are there that you should be looking at as a CAT aspirant, right? So ये सब चीजें हम देखेंगे आज के सेशन में. So let's get going. I'll just check once if my screen and everything looks fine. And if everything is good to go, I'll just align my video once so that can, yeah, this I think should be better. So let's see. Okay, I think this should be better. But yeah, that is basically the idea, the agenda for today. That I'll be answering your questions. It's a completely free flowing discussion. So I'll just see what all questions you have and what all things do you have in mind, and that way we will be able to figure out what exactly do you need to do going forward. So I'll just look at my chat and then we will get going. All right. So let me just look at the chat and let me see what all questions do we have from all of you. And then which questions you have? ठीक है. So my voice is of course not as good as it is in general because I'm in a different setup today. You might have observed, but yeah, I'm hoping that this is possible and is something that we can manage, right? So that is basically the idea. But let me see if I can do something about it to make it slightly better. Just give me a second. I don't think I'll be able to change much, but ठीक है, it's okay. All right, let's see if it makes the voice slightly better. So let's see. Okay, so let's get going. Let's start with the session today. So, guys, welcome to the session again. And today we are going to discuss about your doubts, your queries. So this entire session is about you, right? I don't really have an agenda as such that I want to talk about. I don't have a PPT that I will talk about. I'll basically take questions from you and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Now, there are a few things that have happened over the recent few days. The CAT notification was out. The CAT registrations have started. So the suggestion is that in case you have not registered or you're thinking of registering, do make sure that you go through the entire thing once. एक बार देख लेना, create an ID, create your account, and see what all things are required. If there are any documents or any pro formas or undertakings that you need to submit, तो वो सब चीजें देख लेना. Those are very important. You can't simply wake up in the month of September and then start running here and there. वो नहीं करना है. Make sure that you are not making any of the common mistakes that people tend to make. नाम ठीक से लिख रहे हो, scores ठीक से डाल रहे हो, 10th standard 12th standard के, graduation के, you are marking all the IMs that are there, you have all your documents in place, and the most important thing, you are selecting your exam centers wisely. तो ये सब चीजें बहुत important है, so make sure you do all those things. And of course the other tests are also coming up in terms of the registrations. तो ZAT के अंदर they have said that people who register earlier or on the first day rather, they would be getting the center of their choice. तो ऐसा कुछ है, but again honestly I don't think a lot of people would have applied for that right now. So अगर नहीं किया है, करने का पूरा मन है, तो please do that, right? So let's start. Sanjana is saying huge fan. Thanks Sanjana for tuning in. And there's a question. What percentile is required to get into good IIMs? 887 female, general merit, engineering degree, work ex, 3 years as software development engineer. See, 887 pe Sanjana, I think to be very honest with you, brutally honest with you, I would not really be looking at the older IIMs as a very viable option, right? I will not say that. I will not take any other IIM except IIM A, B, C or L. तो वहां पे मैं नहीं जाऊंगा. 887 is a decent profile. I'm not saying it's a bad profile at all. It's a fine profile. But ABC ke liye specifically, if you look at the competition, there are people who are going to have a double nine in their 10th and 12th, and they will clearly have an advantage of 4 points over you. And अगर 4 point का advantage वहां पे आ जाता है, so you basically have to make up for it, right? So 4 points out of 20, let's say for example, तो 4 points out of 20 है. अगर कैट का वेटेज लेट्स से 35 और 40 पॉइंट्स या 50 पॉइंट्स है जैसे भी, सो इन दैट केस यू विल हैव टू मेक अप फॉर दोस 4 पॉइंट्स. सो आइडियली अगर लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल कैट का वेटेज 50 पॉइंट्स, जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल, तो 50 में अगर मेरे को 4 का डिफरेंस क्रिएट करना है, सो 200 में से मेरे को 16 का डिफरेंस क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा. सो इफ समवन इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू गेट इनटू एन IIM 99 प्रोफाइल के साथ, अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि 99.6 99.7 चाहिए, and that basically will be around, I would say, 105 108 marks. Let's say for example you will have to be targeting 124 125 130 marks, which is practically 99.99 percentile. So numerically अगर देखा जाए तो it becomes very difficult, मतलब almost impossible I will say, unless you manage to get a 99.99 or 100, then you have an outside chance at the older IIMs as well. But realistically अगर मैं बात करूं, then I am practically looking at colleges which are maybe the second generation of IIMs or IIM Mumbai. I think that should be your best call. IIM Kozhikode might happen agar gender diversity and if they kind of tweak their criteria a bit, so that might happen. But broadly, I am looking at IIM Mumbai being my best option at this point in time at least, followed by IIM Shillong, followed by the second and third generation IIM. So ये सारे I think viable हैं. FMS I think should definitely be viable. XLRI should definitely be viable. So ये सारे colleges are open for you. I will only not regard ABCLI in your context, but beyond that everything else is possible, even with a 99.6ish 7ish के साथ भी possible होना चाहिए. So that is the honest answer. My mocks are going really bad. My weakest section is quants. तो अभी थोड़ा मेरा आंसर चेंज होता है. So अगर quants में बहुत ही फाइट हो रहा है and you're registered for the quant workshop, okay, ठीक है. But the point is, see, मतलब quant workshop is fine, that is okay. But the point is, you should be able to identify which questions you want to go for. So it's not as if you will have to study the entirety of quant and have to be really good at it. You will have to pick and choose which topics do you want to focus on, which topics are the ones that you are definitely going to be able to solve, right? तो मतलब कुछ तो मेरे पास पॉजिटिव्स होने चाहिए. Let's say for example I'm just saying, let's say you play tennis for example, right? You need to have something that you're good at. Either your serve should be good, or you should be very good at net. You should maybe have good drop shots, let's say. You should have a good strong forehand. You should have a good backhand. You should have good stamina कि भाई मतलब अगर लेट तक जा रहा है तो I will be able to sustain, कुछ तो होना चाहिए, right? I can't have nothing and still think about winning, तो वो थोड़ा difficult हो जाएगा. So identify the things that come naturally to you, that are clearly your strengths, and focus on those. Try to get those 6 or 7 questions out of the way. I know it's a big ask, but 6 or 7 questions, once you get them out of the way, you are sitting on a pile of 18 or 21 marks. I think that's going to be a really good thing. So I will focus my entire energy on getting those 6 or 7 right. So that basically means figuring out the topics that I should be able to handle very well. Let's say, for example, simple interest, compound interest. Whatever happens, I'm not going to let go of that question. Again, I'm not saying whatever happens. If they say that 10 years ka CI nikalo and half yearly agar apply ho raha hai, you need not sit and find raise to 20 wala thing, of course. But the point is, most of the question types you should be able to handle from simple interest, compound interest. Profit and loss से कुछ आता है, it's okay. You can fight it out. Write it down. थोड़ा 5 मिनट लगा लो. That's okay. Perfectly okay. But get those 6 7 questions out of the system first of all. Even if you take 3 minutes per question, I'm okay with that, right? But even at the end of 30 minutes, if you are able to tell me that I have done 6 to 7 questions, I'm reasonably okay with your choices. Having said that, if the test is on the easier side, if the section is on the easier side, chances are very high that you are easily going to go through those 6 or 7 questions, and you are practically looking at the next stage, which is 10 or 11 questions. So at a strategy level, thoda sa defensive strategy hoga, so it's okay in terms of quant, but I would like you to kind of do well in terms of the VRC section and the DILR section. So agar quant mein, in an easy quant section, if you are scoring around 30 marks, the remaining 55 60 marks have to come from your VRC and DLR sections, which basically means that DLR mein you have to be good enough to solve 2 sets. So again, as I said, right, you should have some positives at a section level, you should have some positives at a test level. तो दोनों जगह पे you have to work on it. There is still a lot of time to go. ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब अभी टेस्ट 2 हफ्ते में आ रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. There is a lot of time to go. So I'm sure there is a chance that you will be able to go to the next level. But for now, I will suggest an extremely defensive strategy. Keep it very tight. You should nail those 5 6 7 questions, and beyond that I'm okay. Whatever you get after that is a bonus, but don't get greedy beyond that and try to attempt a lot more, especially in a difficult section. So that is broadly the idea. Baki to of course we will discuss when we are doing the workshops. So wahan pe we are going to discuss, and Sanjana, you have mentioned it, so I will also mention it. We have these quant workshops that we are going to start from the 17th of August, and we are running an offer on our comprehensive and on the self-learning programs. We are giving 50% off. The code is flat 50. And it's auto applied on checkout. So you can just go to the website and you can just check out the courses if you are interested to have a look at them. Those are available for the lowest price ever this season. So do check them out. The offer is till the 15th of August. So we thought that we will run something for the Independence Day. That's why we are doing that. So do check that out. And if you like those courses, then do enroll for it. And if you have any doubts regarding the courses, you can send your queries to this number that is floating in front of you or the mail ID that is there on the screen in front of you. Okay, chalo, let's see. So Sanjana, I hope it is clear. Ayush, 897 gem chances and percentage of older IMs. So Ayush, your answer changes slightly compared to what Sanjana's answer was. So you basically have a 2 point advantage, which basically means you will have to do better by 8 marks. So instead of reaching 125, you can make do with 117 marks or 115 marks. That does not change my answer by much. It basically means that you have to look at a 99.85, 99.9 percentile in general. If you are looking at it, again, I am assuming, yeah, you are a gem. So I'm practically looking at a 99.8 kind of a score. अगर 50% weight CAT score को है तो so most of the older IIMs, I think you should be able to look at with a 99.7 plus 99.8 plus kind of a thing. But again, if you're talking about older IIMs, I will also want to include IIM Mumbai in that discussion, which should happen at a slightly lower percentile as well. But then you will have to have a very good balanced score, 90 to 93 plus percentile in all sections, and a good 99 plus percentile overall. If you are able to manage that, then I think that should be possible. But 897 is not a bad profile. It's a decent profile. Things might happen at 99.6 as well. बट हिस्टोरिकली जो हमने देखा हुआ है एट सिमिलर प्रोफाइल्स 997 वगैरह के प्रोफाइल्स भी जो होते हैं समटाइम्स पीपल डोंट एंड अप गेटिंग कॉल्स इवन एट 99.7 परसेंटाइल फ्रॉम ABCL. तो वो एक थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है. दैट्स व्हाई आई विल टारगेट अ स्लाइटली हायर नंबर अराउंड 115 117 मार्क्स इन द लास्ट ईयर का कॉन्टेक्स्ट. ठीक है. Ayush is saying 100 and ठीक है आयुष चलो great. So if you are scoring 100 to 110 in CL mocks and around 80 to 90 in CRACU mocks, I think you are fine. I would not be very worried about it. Of course, I will want to kind of consistently be अगर CL के mocks हैं and if you are seeing that the topper is 140 पे या 150 पे, then I will want you to push it to 120. मतलब I will want you to be slightly closer to the topper. Because actual CAT के अंदर if I'm looking at most of the student toppers, the highest scorers will typically be in their 150s. If you're looking at it, right? So, wo context mein I'm saying 117ish, 120ish should be the number that you should be targeting. So, agar CL वगैरह के अंदर 140, 145 आ रहा है, again, I don't think the best candidates will be taking CL mocks exclusively. वैसा थोड़ा difficult लग रहा है. So, वो सब चीजों को मद्देनजर रखते हुए I will want you to push beyond 120 in CL mocks and CRACU mocks के अंदर considering that they are historically known to be tougher mocks. I will want you to be somewhere close to 100 or go into a triple digit. So if you are able to manage these two things consistently, I think you should be fine. So that is my suggestion for you. Tanishq, how to practice for DRR? Tanishq, यार मतलब see, the point is you have to understand sets and you have to understand set pieces. दो चीजें अलग होती हैं, right? Sets का मतलब ये है कि एक मैंने जितने सारे set solve करूंगा उतना I will be happy. उतना I will be confident getting into a new set, getting into थोड़ा uncertainty वाला situation, right? So that is basically sets. And set pieces का मतलब होता है कि छोटे छोटे जो चीजें होती है ना, that I am very comfortable with. I might have seen somewhere. जैसे for example, just a very basic example. बट काकुरो लॉजिक, सो काकुरो लॉजिक ये बोलता है या काकुरो का पजल टाइप ये होता है जहां पे व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज यू आर बेसिकली ट्राइंग टू स्प्लिट अ नंबर इनटू स्मॉलर सिंगल डिजिट नंबर्स. So a set might not tell you कि काकुरो लॉजिक है, but it will tell you that there are 8 students and there are 3 professors. Each professor caters to a unique distinct number of students. तो मुझे पता है that it's either going to be a split of 4-3-1 or 5-1. दैट इज काकुरोलॉजी, दैट्स अ सेट पीस. तो अगर मेरे सेट पीसेस बहुत अच्छे हैं, देन आई कैन टैक्टिकली भी स्लाइटली बेटर. मतलब लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल आई फॉलो द स्टॉक मार्केट्स, लेट्स से, एंड वहां पे मुझे कैंडल स्टिक्स दिखाई देते हैं एंड आई नो व्हाट ओपन हाई लो क्लोज मींस, राइट? सो अगर मुझे वो वाला लॉजिक पता है एंड अगर कैंडल स्टिक्स आते हैं लाइक इट हैपेंड इन आई थिंक कैट 2023 I believe, then in that case or 24, I'm not very sure, one of those 2 years, but then I know that चलो ये वाला part 24 I think, yeah, but then I know that ये वाले part को मैं बहुत easily handle कर सकता हूँ, right? So these are all small tactics that you can look at, but broadly in terms of exposure, just to feel confident about yourself, look at a question and establish a call back, वो सब चीज के लिए you'll have to solve a lot of different sets. अब sets कहाँ से solve करने चाहिए? The best answer that I can come up with is mocks, right? Almost all the institutes will put their best sets in their box. They will not want to waste it in their classroom sessions or in their online sessions. Generally वो नहीं करेंगे. They will want to keep their more best sets, relevant sets, contemporary sets, fresh sets. ये सारी चीजें mocks के अंदर जाएंगी, because that is basically where they get the best students attempting these sets as well. So they will not want to waste it in a book. So that's why mock taking becomes very important. So I think around 80% of your sets का जो quota होगा, या 80% of the entire thing that you're planning to do, that will come from mocks. So even if you're not taking mocks entirely, I will suggest that at least open a mock, let it run, submit कर दो, जैसे भी कर सकते हो, but look at the DILR sets with intent. तो वो मेरा एक suggestion होगा. And of course, the rest 20% comes from practice sets as well as PYQs. But majority of the set practice that you're going to do, that is going to happen from your DILR sections or of mocks. And broadly, if you're looking at improving your DILR ka prowess, confidence, ये सब चीजें अगर improve करनी है, then I will suggest solving as many logical reasoning puzzles as you can. I keep on talking about Sudoku, Kakuro, Hitori, Hidato, Tower of Hanoi, let's say Bulls and Cows, by extension Wordle, Futoshiki, Slitherlink, Nonogrid, Skyscrapers, ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं, राइट? एंड सुडोकूज के बहुत सारे तरीके हैं, मतलब फॉग ऑफ वॉर है, यू विल गेट केज वाले सुडोकू, यू विल गेट ऑड इवन वाले सुडोकू, you will get Renban lines, you will get, so matlab, I can keep on going on and on about the various puzzle types that are there. And whatever puzzle types I have told you, I basically know how to solve those questions. I might not be extremely good at solving each of these puzzle types, but I'm fairly comfortable. And because of that, I am generally more confident when it comes to the DILR section. So if you are able to go through 18 or 20 different puzzle sets, तो तुम्हारे set pieces बहुत अच्छे से manage हो जाएंगे. So broadly, that is what you need to do in terms of DILR. So yeah, that's my answer for you. Keshav, my DLR and QA score is good, but my VRC marks fluctuates a lot, and I also score less in VRC. How can I improve? OBC NCL 998 marks for ABC. Yeah, Keshav, your profile is really good. Non-engineer भी हो तो मतलब you have a very good shot at ABC. I would have hopes even at a 95ish, 96ish percentile. I would want to hit a 97 kind of a thing, which basically means you are looking at around 75ish marks. But I would really want to hit that particular score, right? Given your profile and given your category, I think you have a very good chance. If you end up getting a even 75, 80 तक अगर push कर सकते हो, I will be very confident about your chances. But broadly, if you look at VARC, so VARC के fluctuations आते हैं because again it's basically spray and pray kind of a thing, right? So let's say for example, again you are a footballer, or you are a cricketer, let's say you are a bowler, and you just go and bowl fast, that's it. कुछ strategy नहीं है कि अच्छा ठीक है, मतलब how exactly is the pitch, how hard is the pitch, is there grass, is there movement, should I be releasing a bit later than what I do, should I be holding back a bit, should I bowl more bouncers, should I bowl more cutters, तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए मुझे पता नहीं, right? So I'm थोड़ा technical होता है, but I should know how exactly to adapt to situations. If I'm just bowling fast, right, मेरे को एक ही आता है, मैं जाता हूँ फास्ट बॉल डालता हूँ, बस that's it. Then I'm not going to be very effective in all conditions. Sometimes you'll be very effective, right? जब pitch slow होगा, you will be very effective. You will be unplayable. You will be the best bowler on that day. But अगर pitch थोड़ा slow है and वहां पे जाके if you're just trying to bowl fast, it is not going to work for you. या movement ही नहीं है, it's not going to work for you. तो verbal ability के अंदर basically यही चीज होती है. Not every test is going to be according to your strengths, right? So you have to understand what are the tests जहाँ पे you do well. You should be able to objectively tell me कि ये वाला टेस्ट था ना, उसके अंदर मेरा स्कोर अच्छा है because of these reasons. ये वाले टेस्ट पे मेरा स्कोर खराब है because of these reasons. Now what can be the reasons? The reasons can be as simple as मेरे को passages पसंद ही नहीं है, right? So I did one of the sectionals with my students yesterday, and वहां पे we saw a test जहाँ पे सारे के सारे RCs difficult to read थे. Now of course if you score less in that one, you can tell me that okay, यहाँ पे सारे passages difficult थे because of which I was not able to do well. What made the passages difficult? और थोड़ा डेप्थ में जाओ, right? Don't tell me कि passages difficult है करके. क्यों difficult लगे passages? मतलब उसका content difficult था, या वोकैबुलरी ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट था, या क्वेश्चंस डिफिकल्ट थे, वेयर द इन्फरेंशियल इन नेचर, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वाज द प्रॉब्लम विद द पैसेज. So you have to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and tell me why you did not score well, or tell yourself why you did not score well. Jumbled paragraphs के अंदर I could not score well because of this reason. I marked an answer because of this reason. My reason was equally as strong as that of the paper setter, but मेरा नहीं right हुआ फिर, right? If you do not have any companion, if you are not joined an institute, if you don't discuss your questions or doubts with people, you can use chat gpt. एक picture ले लो अपने question का, और अपना जो सॉल्यूशन है, व्हाटएवर इज योर लॉजिक, नरेट दैट थिंग एंड टेल देम कि भाई इनके हिसाब से तो ऑप्शन 3 आंसर है, बट मेरे हिसाब से आंसर ऑप्शन 2 था, बिकॉज माय थॉट प्रोसेस वाज एक्स वाई जेड. एंड देन चैट जीपीटी विल टेल यू व्हाई योर थॉट प्रोसेस इज रॉन्ग. यू हैव टू गिव इट द राइट आंसर. नहीं तो वो 1 बोल देगा, तुम 3 बोलोगे और एक्चुअल आंसर 2 होगा, देन यू आर गोइंग नोवेयर. But enable ChatGPT to come up with the answer on, matlab, by giving it the solution or whatever, and then discuss these things. Where exactly did you go wrong in the thought process? Once you start tightening these screws, वहां पे you are going to do well. So that is broadly the idea. अब इसको अगर simplify करना है तो I will want you to record yourself when you are taking the test, right? So if you record yourself, if you record your answers, if you are thinking about it loudly, that also encourages you to be राइट. ठीक है, मतलब टू बी जस्ट इन अ वे. यू कांट बी अनजस्ट एंड से कुछ भी एंड देन लाइक हाँ ठीक है मेरे को लग रहा है बी राइट है करके तो बी मार्क करते हैं. दैट इज नॉट रीजनिंग. दैट इज जस्ट कॉइन टॉस, राइट? इट्स लाइक होपिंग कि भाई मतलब मैंने डाइस फेंका तो 5 आ जाए करके. दैट्स इट. देयर इज नो स्ट्रेटजी, देयर इज नो लॉजिक टू इट. But if you are saying that option 1 is better than option 2 because option 1 covers these 3 points which option 2 doesn't, and these 3 points are very relevant to the question, then you are on the right. So try to think about it in those terms. Analyze very critically what your performance is at a sectional level. Why you do well? Why did you do well in a particular mock? Why did you not do well at a particular mock? And it can't be very superficial. मन नहीं था, बोर हो गया था, starting में मेरे को थोड़ा time लगा. I took a bit of time to get started. Not really good answers. There has to be a reason, right? Did you overthink about a question? Did you not pay attention to a question? Did you get carried away and attempt more than what you should have? All these are valid answers. So think critically, and then dig deeper and try to make sure that your reasoning behind every question is very just, I would say. That is very important. तो justice करना चाहिए options को. It's basically like someone telling you that they don't like you, and you are like, why do they not like you? And they will say कि नहीं यार मेरे को पसंद नहीं आया तुम करके. I don't like you because I don't like your nature. And you are like, what nature? So imagine that the options are the ones that you are judging. You can't judge them unfairly. You have to be a very fair judge. When you are saying कि option C right नहीं है, तो you have to be very fair to it and tell the option कि भाई तुम क्यों right नहीं हो. So maybe think about it, थोड़ा personify कर दो, might help. So that is broadly the idea. ठीक है. You may or may not. 987 EWS, non-engineer. I am Calcutta Finance IB. Any chances? Depends on which college you are from. You may or may not. If you are from the SRCCs of the world, or if you are from I don't know, Xavier's of the world, very very good colleges of repute. अगर वहां से कहीं से आते हो, then I think you have fair chances. But then again, I banking is मतलब थोड़ा बहुत ही ज्यादा competitive होता है. So you will have a lot of IITians, you will have a lot of gold medalists who are there. You will have 999s, 998s. In your college, you will also have people who will do really well in terms of ACATs. At the college, you will have people who have like very good positions of responsibility, who are, I don't know, CFA L2, CAs. ये सब लोग होंगे, उसके बाद शायद तुम्हारा नंबर आएगा. So if you lack any of these, then the journey is going to be more difficult. I am Calcutta again, because you have an 8, you have a disadvantage of 2 marks over most people. Those 2 marks will kind of magnify get magnified and become 8 marks. तो 7-8 mark का gap रखना पड़ेगा, which basically means you have to target a score of around 110 115 marks. I'm talking about last year. This year things might change, of course, but last year के context में, if you were able to score 110 112 115 तक जाता score, then I would be मतलब reasonably confident about I am Calcutta. बट वो नहीं है तो फिर देन मेरे लिए थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा. एंड ऑफ कोर्स सॉरी, बिकॉज यू मेंशन ईडब्ल्यूएस के लिए थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा. आई एम प्रैक्टिकली लुकिंग एट अ स्कोर ऑफ अराउंड 90, मे बी 90, 85 90 के आसपास में एटलीस्ट देखा, बिकॉज ऑफ ईडब्ल्यूएस. अदरवाइज इट वुड हैव इजीली गॉन टू 110, राइट? सो these are the numbers I'm broadly targeting. ईडब्ल्यूएस के कट ऑफ बहुत ज्यादा नीचे नहीं जाते. दे आर वेरी एक्सट्रीमली कॉम्पिटिटिव, मतलब ऑनेस्टली इट्स अ वेरी कॉम्पिटिटिव बंच ऑफ पीपल. So I will still want to be in the 90s preferably. But yeah, and iBanking completely depends on what you do inside the college and what your CV looks like otherwise. So वो तो बाद में मतलब देख लेना how it works. ठीक है प्रज्वल, which non IIMs are good to apply to? 998 GEM, 3 years of experience. प्रज्वल यार मतलब FMS Excel आ रहा है are really good. And you might also want to keep MDI IFT as backups. That's it. ISB का 2 year program you can check out if you don't want to go for their 1 year program. But I think broadly these are the things, and because your profile is so good, I will also want you to look at SPJMR. So these are the colleges that I will look at. MDI IFT are my backups. MDI IFT ISB 2 years are kind of my backups. And I will be very very happy if I manage to get into SPJMR, FMS, and XLRI. So this will basically be my priorities. So yeah, Utkarsh, OBC, female, age 6, and government school 6, BSc Maths, 9 is BA, Tier 3, 3.5 years school teaching experience in Xavier's. Tier 1 interviews convert possible. How difficult would be the placement? Tier 1 will be difficult to get a call. Will be difficult to get a call from Utkarsh. So I'm not very sure. I don't know if you're asking for yourself or for someone else, but it will be slightly difficult. I think with an 869 academic performance, I think it will be थोड़ा difficult, honestly, to get a call in the first place. Call अगर आता है तो placement के time पे थोड़ा सा issue होगा, because if you get into one of the older IIMs, let's say for example, um, okay, ठीक है, चलो, I'll talk about older IIMs and then I'll talk about tier 1 in general. But across चलो older IIMs and tier 1 colleges, मतलब colleges like MDI, IFT, maybe an IIM Shillong for example, or maybe even an FMS XLRI kind of a college अगर होता भी है, you might not get calls from the first few companies, at least during summers. फाइनेंस में हो सकता है, बट समर्स में डिफिकल्ट होगा. इफ यू आर प्लानिंग टू टेक अप मार्केटिंग आफ्टर योर एमबीए, you might still have a shot at many of the initial few companies that come on campus. So broadly, I think an HUL might not shortlist you, a PNG might not shortlist you, a Nestle might not shortlist you. I don't know, Colgate might not shortlist. I'm not very sure, but they may or may not shortlist you. But beyond that, if you're looking at the ITCs of the world, the Asian Paints of the world, the Airtels of the world, the Vodafones of the world, the Maricos, Daburs, Britannias, Mars, Mondelez, ये सब मतलब Mondelez भी शायद नहीं, but broadly if you're looking at a lot of these companies that typically come on day 2 या day 3, not या day 1 या day 2, मतलब second और third physical day पे आते हैं, they might shortlist you. GDs वगैरह में तुमको shortlist कर सकते हैं. If you are looking at finance, then things look थोड़ा bleak to me, at least in the summers. Summers में you might want to take up some brand which is good and gives you a good internship project. Get that PPO. Finals may sit with a lot of credentials on your CV. Try to do well in your B school as well, and then some decent things might happen during the finals. But with that academic performance, I will be थोड़ा सा circumspect when it comes to my chances at a B school. So मतलब मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. That is the idea. ठीक है? Oh, we are inching towards the number that was told to me by Prachya, by the way. 28 तक हम लोग पहुंचे. So let's sorry. फेक एक्सपीरियंस शो करना चाहिए कि नहीं? जनक, ओके, तो बोलते हैं ना, नकल में भी अकल होनी चाहिए, राइट? उस टाइप का चीज है ये. सो फेक एक्सपीरियंस क्या होता है? नाउ दैट इज बेसिकली अ वेरी, इट्स अ स्पेक्ट्रम वाला क्वेश्चन. इट्स नॉट लाइक यस नो वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं है. आई कांट से दैट वन एक्सपीरियंस इज फेक एक्सपीरियंस, वन एक्सपीरियंस इज ट्रू एक्सपीरियंस. ऐसा नहीं है. हर एक चीज में ग्रेडियंट होता है, राइट? सो कुछ लोग होते हैं जिनका काम बहुत ही मतलब बेसिक सा होता है जो करते हैं, बट लिखने के टाइम पे दे विल यूज स्लाइटली बेटर वर्ड्स एंड देन राइट देयर जॉब प्रोफाइल, जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, अचीवमेंट्स वगैरह थोड़ा एग्जैजरेट करेंगे. सो इफ लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर हैंडलिंग 50 crores वर्थ ऑफ सेल्स इन अ ईयर, यू विल से कि मैं 60 crores करता हूं करके. वो फेक है टेक्निकली देखेंगे तो, बट वो रियल भी है इन अ वे. सो फेक एक्सपीरियंस फ्रॉम व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड, इफ यू आर आस्किंग अबाउट फैमिली बिजनेस या फ्रेंड्स बिजनेस या कुछ ऐसे फर्जी सर्टिफिकेट बना के दे दिया, इट विल वर्क टेक्निकली, इट विल वर्क, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. बट इंटरव्यू के अंदर इफ दे feel that, or if they realize that you have faked your experience and it is not genuine, then you are in big trouble, because then whatever else you say will be counted against you. तो कुछ भी मतलब चीज फिर वो लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे, and then you are in big trouble, then you are not going to get that convert at all. So the idea is that if you are faking your experience, live that experience, right? Figure out what exactly would have kept you occupied for 8 hours, at least 7 hours, 8 hours every day. What was your job profile like? What were your KRAs? What were your achievements? ये सब चीजें you have to live it. मतलब mentally you have to live it. Physically अगर भले ही ऑफिस नहीं जा रहे हो, but mentally shadow someone who does that job. Figure out what keeps them occupied for 8 hours a day. What was your valuation? Know your family business or your friend का दो startup है जो भी inside out. फंडिंग कहाँ से आता है, कॉस्ट ड्राइवर्स क्या है, रेवेन्यू ड्राइवर्स क्या है, ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट कहाँ पे है, एक्सपांशन स्ट्रेटेजी क्या है, गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशंस क्या है, कॉम्पिटिटर्स कौन है, अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग इनसाइड आउट, टैक्सेशन क्या है, understand everything inside out, and then just hope and pray that they don't catch on to your lie. That's it. But it is a risky strategy, but कर लेते हैं लोग handle कर लेते हैं. I'm not saying कि नहीं हो सकता. I'm not saying it's impossible. So don't worry about it. ठीक है? You may or may not be saying don't spam. ठीक है? I don't know. It got removed, so I didn't see it. Sorry. माय वर्कशॉप्स आर कॉस्टली आदित्य यार, मतलब मैं क्या करूं, मतलब लाइफ इज कॉस्टली राइट, मतलब फूड इज कॉस्टली, स्टे इज कॉस्टली, एवरीथिंग इज कॉस्टली, इंटरनेट इज कॉस्टली, तो सब कुछ ही कॉस्टली है, तो फिर मतलब हाँ वर्कशॉप्स भी कॉस्टली होंगे. फॉर दैट आई जनरली से वन थिंग, इफ यू बाय चीप यू बाय ट्वाइस, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाट आई कीप ऑन टेलिंग पीपल हु टेल मी कि वो है, बट आई कैन ओनली प्रॉमिस यू वन थिंग, दैट द क्वालिटी इज रियली गुड. तो मैं कॉस्ट के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आई कांट से दैट इट इज गुड बैड वट एवर, बिकॉज वो सब्जेक्टिव हो जाता है. आई कांट से दैट नहीं यार बहुत सस्ता है करके मैं नहीं बोल सकता. ऑफ कोर्स एवरीबॉडी हैज अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव, but what I can promise you is that the quality will be top notch. I am putting my heart and soul into the workshops. My team is putting their heart and soul into designing those 2000 questions that we are coming up this year. I have already put in my heart and soul into making those concept videos. So वो मैं promise करता हूँ कि that will be up to the mark. बाकी वो 5000 के वर्थ इट है नहीं है, दैट इज सेकेंडरी यार. मतलब इन द लॉन्ग टर्म या इन द ब्रॉडर कॉन्टेक्स्ट, आई थिंक इट इज अ वेरी वेरी गुड प्राइस that you are getting that thing for. So but to each their own. So just look at it. If it makes sense to you, go for it. Otherwise मतलब YouTube चैनल तो है ही, so you can look at that. ठीक है? Sanjana, my opinion on Snap and Nmat. Tricky question है Sanjana. मतलब see, I don't know. I still think Snap is a slightly better test compared to Nmat. Okay, चलो Nmat का test is very good by the way, right? Nmat का test I think arguably is one of the best conducted tests of the season. मतलब मैल प्रैक्टिसेस के हिसाब से देख लो या फिर जो भी परसेंटाइल कैलकुलेशन के हिसाब से देख लो, क्वेश्चंस के क्वालिटी के हिसाब से देख लो, लुक एट द मिस्टेक्स दैट आर देयर इन द टेस्ट. I think NMAT is nearly flawless in terms of their conduct. But if you look at NMIMS as an institute and if you look at the process that they follow after the NMAT, that leaves a lot to be desired. यार मतलब it is very difficult to justify it, right? मतलब if I were handling the NMIMS का admission process, I would face it very difficult to justify some of the decisions that happen. Why am I conducting a competency test if NMAT is supposed to be my gateway into the institute? Why am I keeping my NMAT ka percentile or cutoff so low that almost everybody who takes the test is going to be eligible for the process? Why am I calling everybody to Mumbai and making them go through the process? Why don't I have a residential institute? Why am I charging so much of fees? Why is my batch size so large? So मेरे लिए बहुत सारे questions हैं. If I am मेरे लिए नहीं है, but if I am the adcom of NMIMS, I have a lot of difficult questions to answer. And that makes it difficult for me to recommend NMIMS to a broader sector of people, right? But for those of you who are now finding it very difficult to get a job, who are stuck in that 3, 4, 5 LPA job, can't see a path ahead, I think NMIMS is a very good institute, right? So context पे depend करता है. If you are doing really well in your career, you might not need NMIMS. But if you are not, then NMIMS might actually be a very good option for you. If you are not scoring well at the entrance test, NMIMS is a very good option for you because 209 पे तुमको कॉल आने के chances हैं, which no other top college is going to allow you to, right? So that way I think it's a good test, well conducted test, ease of entry अच्छा है, and because there is so much of negative word of mouth going around, the competition will be slightly lesser compared to the other institutes. So that way NMIMS मेरे लिए एक अच्छा option बन जाता है, especially if I am not doing very well in my career. Symbiosis Snap on the other hand has its own set of issues यार. मतलब last I remember I took Snap only once. I had a percentile of 99.92. I do not know what I could have done better in terms of the test. I remember finishing the test some 17-18 minutes before the timer ended. मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता था उसके आगे और, right? And I got a score of 52.5. I don't know how, because they don't share your response sheets, they don't share anything. तो ना normalization करते हैं, ना ही उनका टेस्ट watertight है, कि भाई 60 minutes at least utilize तो होने दो. What is the advantage that someone has if they are finishing the test within 40-45 minutes? क्या point बना फिर test? So there are these questions that are very pressing in terms of snap का conduct. But again the colleges are pretty decent, right? So वो सब चीजें थोड़ा mix and match हो जाती हैं. Again, if you are not doing well in your career, if you can't really see a way जिससे आगे जा सकते हो, if you are not hyper competitive in terms of CAT का performance, if you do not really have an amazing CV, symbiosis might be the option for you. So again, consider कर सकते हैं. But broadly, I'm talking about options around that 94-95 percentile. So if you are scoring around 90 percentile in the mocks, I might want to look at NMAT and SNAP as viable options. NMAT I will want to take very seriously, score very heavily. अगर लास्ट का जो स्केलिंग प्रोसेस वो होता है तो 250 प्लस इज व्हाट आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग. एंड स्नैप के अंदर आई वांट टू टेक ऑल 3 अटेम्प्ट्स एंड काइंड ऑफ नॉट लीव एनीथिंग टू चांस. सो ब्रॉडली दैट विल बी माय सजेशन. Decent colleges, I don't know. For the top tier audience, not really. But if you are somewhere in the middle, definitely go for it. ठीक है. Anurag, how to be good in philosophical RCs even after reading many essays? Inference-based questions become very difficult to solve. Anurag, see, yaar, matlab if the paper setter has decided that they want you to not score well, then there's nothing you can do to fight it, right? It's impossible to fight it. But in some situations, even if a passage is difficult, you might still be able to handle it. Now, my first thing is for you to understand philosophy at a slightly deeper level. Reading articles, if it is not helping you, if I ask you suddenly, tell me something about solipsism, right? Or tell me something about the difference between what Socrates thought, what Aristotle thought, and what Plato thought, and you don't really have anything to talk about, right? Tell me about what Carl Jung thought. Tell me about what are your thoughts about John Locke? What are your thoughts about Sigmund Freud, right? If you do not really have anything to come up with, then whatever articles you have read might not really be useful to you in the context of the test, unless the same article appears. फिर अलग story है, right? तो वो थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है. I will suggest that you try to read up on philosophical principles that are there. So एक general suggestion है, open the Wikipedia page, look at all the philosophical concepts that are there, look at all the philosophers who are there, including Derrida और अभी जो भी नाम बताया मैंने, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, even Ayn Rand for that matter, Sigmund Freud, John Locke, and this guy, Carl Jung. So, matlab, look at all these people who have been matlab, of some repute in terms of psychology, and then you read up on these people on their concepts by using ChatGPT. बोल दो, okay. I want you to explain to me the concept of materialism or determinism, uh, and explain to me as if I'm a 10-year-old. Uh, I'm based out of India. My interests lie in the field of science, technology, sports, and modern history. Let's say, right? Use examples from these contexts and explain to me the concept of determinism, and then see what happens. तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग थोड़ा बेटर हो जाएगा. सो ब्रॉडली थोड़ा मतलब सिंप्लीफाई करके यू विल हैव टू स्टडी फिलोसॉफी. आई एम डेवलपिंग समथिंग फॉर फिलोसॉफी बाय द वे, जिससे मतलब योर दिस थिंग बिकम स्लाइटली बेटर. बट वो उस पर थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. दैट इज नॉट फॉर कैट 26, दैट्स फॉर कैट 27. आई वुड लाइक टू बिलीव, बट आई एम वर्किंग ऑन समथिंग which satisfies that exact demand. But maybe this should help you understand psychology slightly better. ठीक है. Shri Hari Vijayan, how to compete with IITians who have default quant edge? Shri Hari Vijayan, यार IITians का quant edge अलग होता है. And so basically in the current format ना, a lot of their edge gets taken away because of that 40 minutes का time section. पहले क्या होता पता है? Earlier what used to happen is IITians used to go and appear for the CAT, and their focus was very straightforward. उनको CAT quant में 100% निकालना है. I know a lot of IITians who have done that, right? I had a lot of friends who used to take the CAT only to do well in the quant section. उनको ना IIM का कुछ मतलब था. They didn't care about what their percentile would be या जो भी है. It was kind of bragging rights that I got a 100 percentile in the quant section, right? A lot of the mentors that you come across will tell you that they have got a 100 percentile, and from that era, because they focused almost exclusively on solving one section throughout those 3 hours. So a lot of people did that. And now it's no longer the case because of those timed sectionals, and that's where the IITians kind of lose their edge, right? What they teach at an IIT is not 10 standard math, right? They go deeper and deeper into those concepts. Where they have an edge is they are very logical, very rational, very theoretical, proof driven, right? So that attitude helps in breaking stuff down. It's basically, so I come from a non-engineering background, right? I am as far a non-engineer as one can be. I'm a doctor. I'm an MBBS graduate. I have competed with the same IITians and scored better than them. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि because I am a non-engineer तो मेरा मैं disadvantage पे आ गया. Not really. My fundamentals in terms of quants are extremely clear. I know the edge cases. I know the places where the theorems proofs don't work. If I get stuck, I know how to go one step back and then solve the question. So all those things matter a lot more than simply being an IITian. So don't be worried about IITians. IITians can't do anything to your chances. You have a lot of control over your chances than they have on your chances, right? They might affect you 1 or 2%, but 98% of your thing lies with you. So if you do not do well at the quant section, mostly you will have yourself to blame than the IITs. So don't worry about those things. Okay? Nancy DLR marathon was too good. Early I was into VRC and DLR like section something could not pull off, but quant is something I couldn't. Um, So Nancy और मतलब see quant के अंदर the again the idea is that my whole premise in terms of people not doing well at the quant section and who end up doing well is basically that switch gets flipped in your head, wherein the same thing happens that you mentioned in terms of VRC and DILR, right? You suddenly stop being scared of the entire section. I don't know, it's a slightly dated reference, but if you have seen the Matrix, right, the first Matrix movie, wherein Neo realizes that he is the one. If you have not watched it, you can watch a clip on YouTube or something. But that is basically what I'm looking at. The moment when you realize and you start believing that you are the one, so then people say, right, he has started believing. He was always the one, but he started believing it a lot later into the movie. So how does he start believing? When he sees something happening. So वो एक चीज है, that is basically what I will want you to experience. The moment you experience that, okay, quant is not as difficult as I thought it was. Earlier, I was not able to solve 3 questions. Now I'm able to solve 5 questions. That gives you the confidence. From 5, going to a 7 is not very difficult. From 7 to 10, not very difficult. And then you keep on pushing your limits. But the moment you start believing that you are going to do well, that is basically when you have done well. Now how do you start believing? अब ये तो मतलब हो गया, सेल्फ हेल्प वाला आंसर हो गया, यू स्टार्ट बिलीविंग करके, बिलीव इन योरसेल्फ करके. बट हाउ डू यू स्टार्ट बिलीविंग? So there are a lot of things, right? You have to understand, why do you regard someone else as being better at quant than you are, right? So you refer to Amit sir ka playlist. I have worked very closely with him, right? So that's why I can talk about that. But if you're talking about, let's say, Amit sir or even Param for that matter, Parameshwar Sharma, who is with IMS, you might have seen some of his videos as well, right? And I am there, right? So हम तीनों के styles बहुत ही अलग है in terms of thinking about a question, in terms of breaking a question down. You have to understand what do you think is the most impressive, and then you have to master that particular trait. And वो जैसे ही होगा, then you start feeling confident in yourself. So let's say, for example, you identify more with Amit sir ka style of teaching, right? From what I understand, he has taught at the school level for a long time, and because he has done that, his concepts in terms of school ke formulas, theorems, is they are very strong, right? So वो वाले context में he can do it in a nice stepwise manner. Param on the other hand can see patterns really fast, right? वो you I अमित सर कोई भी मतलब शायद इतने fast patterns ना पकड़ पाए जितने fast परम पकड़ता है. एंड मेरा अलग ही स्टोरी है. आई एम वेरी गुड इन टर्म्स ऑफ नंबर क्रंचिंग. आई एम वेरी गुड इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑब्जर्विंग ट्रैप्स क्या हो सकते हैं. तो वो मेरा स्ट्रेंथ है. नाउ यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड विच ऑफ दीज आर इज द वन दैट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू कॉन्फिडेंस, and then start working towards it. If you identify with school wala logic, then try to take school के जो NCERT टेक्स्ट बुक्स हैं वहां से थोड़ा पढ़ना शुरू करो. Try to master those concepts, try to master those formulas. If you are able to narrate an entire topic without looking at the textbook, I think that's a big victory for you in that context. अगर patterns देखने हैं, then you will have to play with numbers on your own. So let's say I do some patterns as well. So let's say, for example, I tell you कि सामने एक गाड़ी जा रहा है, ठीक है, उसके ऊपर एक 4 डिजिट नंबर है 1137. जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल बिकॉज आई थॉट अबाउट दिस डीपली. तो 1137 में से कोई भी दो नंबर ले लो, कोई भी ऑर्डर में लिखो उसको, यू आर गोइंग टू गेट अ प्राइम नंबर, एंड दैट इज द ओनली सेट ऑफ 4 डिजिट्स दैट विल गिव यू दैट, right? And I'm not talking about 1111 or 7777 or जो भी. I'm not talking about those kind of numbers. I'm talking about 1137. So 11, 13, 31, 17, 71, 37, 73. All of these are prime numbers. Now, if you want to get better at pattern recognition, you will have to look at numbers and start thinking deeply about it. You will have to look at questions and start thinking deeply about them. Some people get excited by these process. तो वो वाला पार्ट मास्टर कर ले. नंबर क्रंचिंग अगर अच्छा करना है, you have to get very good in terms of calculations. You have to be supremely confident कि यार 3 by 3 का मल्टीप्लिकेशन करना है तो भी मैं निकाल लूंगा. आंसर सब्स्टिट्यूट करके भी मैं आंसर निकाल सकता हूँ. मैं ओरली क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर सकता हूँ. सो दैट इज बेसिकली माई स्टाइल. So you have to identify which style is the one that you think is the most believable one. To talk about it in sports ke terms, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal are two different players. Djokovic is a third different player, right? You also have someone who is entirely different from these people, like a Pete Sampras, for example, or a Carlos Alcaraz, for example. You had very different players from these people, like say a Leighton Hewitt, let's say, for example. Yannick Sinner, different players. So सब अलग-अलग players हैं, right? You have to figure out which player do you want to be like, or which player can you be like, and then you have to model yourself in that manner. If you are a Federer and you start thinking in यार मेरे को नडाल जैसा स्ट्रेंथ वाला गेम खेलना है, पावर वाला गेम खेलना है, you will probably not be as good at it compared to what you are at your natural game. So that is basically how you gain confidence, is my understanding. तो moral of the story है कि हाँ मतलब figure out what you want to do and then do more of it. ठीक है? Shri Hari Vijayan, OBC male, 976, black eye calls. I don't know, matlab, I will want you to be above 97 percentiles really. 97 plus should ideally get you some calls, but that 7 in 12 bothers me. So that is going to be my answer. Sanjana is saying, what should I aim for in ZAT, SNAP, and MAT? What percentile? ZAT, I think anything about 96 should be great. In SNAP, I think about 98.5, 99 plus. Ideally, you are looking at a 50 ka score, 48 to 50 ka score. And NMAT के अंदर 250 plus is what I mentioned, right? So those you are looking at in terms of colleges, NMIMS Mumbai through NMAT, that's it. SNAP के through SIBM, SAM, HRD Pune, and ZAT के through XLRI. Maybe if you want to keep a very safe option, then XIMB, that's it. Not beyond that. How to deal with days when a person feels low and is in no mood to study? Otherwise, it depends. Matlab, see, again, to tell you one dialogue that I keep on telling people, right? And I might have told you as well at some point in time. But again, I keep on going back to Lagan for this. Again, एक बात मैं सबको याद दिला दूं, ये कोई खेल नहीं है जो हम किसी के मौज अपने मनोरंजन के लिए खेल रहे हैं. ये एक लड़ाई है जो हमका जीतनी है, right? That's basically it. There is no like or dislike or an option that you have कि ठीक है थोड़ा कर लेते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. But then again, I understand it. It's not really something which is a very exciting prospect, right? कि रोज कुछ नया करने मिलता है. It's not that. On those days, you just have to let go, right? I'm okay. One day a week, if you are letting go, I'm perfectly okay with it. As long as you promise me that you are going to come back the next, I'm okay with that. Otherwise, if you are not in a mood to study, try to work on the building blocks. Try to read a book. Try to just run through ChatGPT. Try to solve some puzzles that you have. Maybe do something, write something, learn five philosophical concepts. So do something productive. That is the idea. Don't focus on core prep on that day. I'm okay with it. But do some prep adjacent things. That is what I will suggest. But once in a while, if you just want to let go of one entire day and just be yourself, that's okay as well. As long as you're adhering to your broader timelines. So weekly timeline, अगर ठीक से adhere कर रहे हो, एक Saturday को you want to take a break, I'm okay with it. But Saturday का break धीरे धीरे Monday तक जाता है, Monday का next Monday तक जाता है. Don't let that happen. That's very easy to fall into. So be a bit careful. But prep adjacent items, those are the ones that I will suggest. Which mock test series is more realistic to CAT? So Shreya, yaar, as a whole, you can't really judge a mock test, right? It's basically saying that um, uh, what is the salary of an average Indian? You can't do that because there are people who don't earn anything. There are people who earn in billions. So there is no one answer to that question, right? Because across SIM cats, you will find some SIM cat which will be very close to the eventual level of the cat. But there will be 25 SIM cards that might not be close to the level of the cat. हर एक जगह पे ये होगा. एम कैट्स में भी होगा, क्रैक मॉक्स में भी होगा, सीएल मॉक्स में भी होगा, सब मॉक्स में होगा. So as a whole, I will want to go for the popular ones purely because I'll get to know where I am standing among the audience. That's why I'll want to look at SimCats slash AimCats. And if you are like reasonably confident with one mock test provider, if you can identify the traps, you can just feel answer B nahi hai, C hai करके. You can't explain it, but you just feel it. That is the time when you have to move on to the next mock test provider. because you can't get used to one style of paper setting, because paper CAT का paper पे और ही set करने वाला है, right? So that is why I will suggest one mock to start with, either SimCAT or MCAT, and once you are reasonably confident, then maybe look at the other one or look at CL or CRACU or whichever. ठीक है? And which is the toughest? I don't know यार श्रेया. I have again it depends. मतलब some sim cards are very difficult. CL का मैंने एक mock दिया था, मतलब बहुत difficult था वो mock, जो मैंने दो mock दिए थे. I think both of them were difficult this year in terms of CL. CRACU historically has been known to be difficult tests. I have not seen them this season, or even last season I did not take any CRACU mocks, but historically I have gathered that they are kind of difficult. So if you are looking for the most difficult historically अगर देखोगे तो CRACU you can look at. But CL has been pretty unforgiving this year. I was very surprised. Last year I got a 141 in one of the tests. This year I don't think I've been able to cross 100 in any of the mocks. So मेरा 94, 95 types से score आ रहा है. तो CL has been reasonably difficult this year. Manoj 757 non-engineer AWS IITs or new IIMs. So five Manoj will be a very big challenge. Yeah? So new IIMs ke liye if you're looking at it, if you're looking at the third generation IIMs, I'm talking about Amritsar, Bodh Gaya, Vizag, Sambalpur, Nagpur, Sirmaur, to Guwahati. If you're looking at these IIMs, then and Jammu, then I'm practically looking at a 93ish, 94ish kind of a percentile. Again, as a general category candidate, EWS के लिए थोड़ा कम होगा. But I will want you to be in the early to mid 90s is what I would be looking at. And your low profile will most probably affect your summer internship placement. I'm almost sure it will affect your summer internship placement because that 5 is thoda difficult. If you're going for marketing roles, you might still be better off. But if you're looking at core finance or consulting, it will be pretty difficult for you to get decent calls during your summer internships. But till your final placements, if you manage to salvage the situation, do well in your summer internship, get a PPO, win some competitions, get into a good committee, do well in your college, do some nice internships, projects, then I think you will have a better shot in your final placements. But summers may things look scary, honestly. Okay? SIBM Pune, NMIMS Mumbai versus new IIMs Trichy, not Shillong. Okay, target being consulting Prodman. I don't know, yaar. I don't know. They are pretty equivalent, but I will still want an NMIMS Mumbai or an SIBM Pune, especially if you're looking at Prodman or consulting, because I don't know. Trichy has also been stuck at a particular number. NM or Symbiosis, they have that location advantage. NMIMS more so. The only downside of NMIMS is the big batch size once you get into the college. But if you can somehow manage to be in the top 10%, 15% of the batch, I think you should have a decent shot at these roles. So I will still look at NM, SIBM, and maybe then a Trichy. Tough choice, but yeah, I'll look at it. Tanishq, BSc Stats, MSc Biostats. Is it good for finance? Yeah, it's a pretty decent profile, Tanishq. So it should help you. Matlab, it's an interesting thing. Just that it is very theoretical. You should be able to explain to them what are the practical aspects of your graduation. That's it. But it's a decent thing. Aditya is saying, I'm really tempted to take your workshop, but I have these doubts. Aditya, take Doubt say, will sectionals be provided in them? No, the sectionals are not provided. What is the USP of this? The USP is basically that I am going to impart my knowledge. You don't really get to interact with 100 percentilers on a regular basis in most of the programs. So that is basically the thing. The batch will be an intimate batch. So you will get personal attention. That is the USP. 2000 plus questions. You are not going to see those questions anywhere else. That is the USP. So all those are the USPs of the program. Sectional tests we are not providing. We are providing practice tests instead, because the expectation is that most of the people would have enrolled for some mock test series. So providing them with sectional tests is superfluous. If you want sectional tests, you can let us know. We can do something about it by taking an additional sum from you. But beyond that, these are the USPs that are going to happen. The biggest USP is sitting right in front of you. So yeah, that is basically the thing. You may or may not. Is there something we can do to increase the chances for IB apart from ACATS and WorkX? Considering I don't have any WorkX, you may or may not. यार मतलब WorkX का ही point है end of the day. IBs के लिए, if you are into equity research, or if you have somehow done something in terms of valuation modeling, then these are good things that can happen. If you are a CFA, then that might also help. CFA CA might help. Typically CAs are preferred by corporate finance companies. But if you have done something like that, then those might help you. But the best thing is having a background. If you have a background in equity research, at least equity research, if you have somehow worked as an analyst, if you have analyzed DRHPs, if you have somehow looked at valuations, if you have somehow done financial modeling, if you have built models explaining certain industries, that is basically the experience that counts. But yeah, that's broadly it. And otherwise, ये सब चीजें बहुत लोगों के पास नहीं होती. Then they look at ACATs, they look at your brands that you are associated with. So even interning with a good iBank might actually be a good thing. So maybe if possible, you can look at some boutique niche iBanks who might want to just have you on board as a research analyst. Even that is okay. ठीक है. Shreya, we don't have mock tests, sir. I have tied up with Test Panda for the mock tests. And Test Panda भी यार कभी कभी थोड़ा reasonably difficult हो जाता है वो तो. या पता नहीं, मतलब I am growing older, so I might be becoming, I will not say senile, but मेरा थोड़ा intensity शायद कम हो रहा होगा, I don't know. But I am facing a lot of difficult mocks these days. So I don't know. मतलब are the mocks difficult, or am I losing my brain cells? I'm not very sure. I hope I'm not losing brain cells. The mocks do seem to be difficult. But even test funda is like reasonably difficult यार, मतलब तो difficult mocks in general are becoming slightly difficult is what I would say. Devansh, please guide me how to deal with geometry as I'm not able to solve basic level questions. Should I skip it? Devansh, यार आज ही मैंने बताया, right? I'm covering geometry in my comprehensive batch as we speak, and today I told the students the same thing today. That geometry के अंदर my first priority will be mensuration, right? So volume based questions, prisms, pyramids, spheres, hemispheres, मेरा बहुत अच्छे से cover हो जाना चाहिए. So that is the lowest of lowest hanging fruit that you can go for. So I will want you to go for that first. My second priority will be quadrilaterals and polygons, and after that I will think about triangles and circles. So if you want to leave something in option, I will leave triangles and circles in option, and I will want to strengthen my mensuration and quadrilaterals and polygons. So that is my suggestion. Mock score are stuck at 70-75. Major contributor is VRC with 35. Not getting significant improvement in quant. You are not solving ample amount of questions. How to improve it? Devansh, you have to understand what is the problem, right? Are the questions you solving? Chalo, either you are not able to spot the easy questions, or you are not able to solve the easy question. One of those two things. If you are not able to spot the easy questions, it basically means that you are spending too much time on solving the difficult ones, which leaves you with very less time to solve the easier ones. या फिर your concepts are not up to the mark. There are things that you don't know when it comes to the easier questions. So one of those two things is happening. You have to identify which thing is happening and address it accordingly. If you're not able to go through all the questions because of which you're missing out on easy questions, it might be a good idea for you to do the test in rounds. Look at 3 questions at once, solve the easiest one among the 3, then go to the next set of 3 questions. Don't get tempted and solve another question from the 3. And that way you will be done with the entire section within 20-25 minutes, ideally. And then you have 15 minutes to work on the questions which you found to be easier ones along your journey. So that might be a good way to solve. So maybe think about that. And if the content is the issue, then you will have to work on strengthening the content. You can't have too many gaps in your concepts. So if you are consistently missing out on arithmetic and algebra questions, try to strengthen those. If you are missing out on basic number theory questions again and again and again, try to strengthen those concepts. But you will have to keep on plugging gaps as we move on. Okay, I'll take a few questions quickly. Monica, 886 SC category, arts graduate. I am Mumbai. Is it possible? Monica, it is possible. I will say. I am Mumbai. I think broadly should happen even at a high 80s percentile. But I will suggest that you aim for at least a 90 to 92 percentile to be reasonably sure. Because with SC you never know. Suddenly a lot of people do well. Then it's going to be a big problem. But ideally, in an ideal world, 85 to 87, 88 percentile should easily take you to the next round. But given your graduation score, I will want to be in the early 90s. So I'm targeting a score of around 55-60 marks at the CAT. तन्मय is saying quants में एक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा, प्लीज गाइड. तन्मय यार वही सेम चीज है. यू विल हैव टू वर्क ऑन द बेसिक्स यार, मतलब बेसिक्स अगर ठीक से नहीं हुए तो फिर इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू सॉल्व क्वेश्चंस. ऐसा मैं मान ही नहीं सकता कि एक सेक्शन होगा जहाँ पे 22 के 22 क्वेश्चन डिफिकल्ट होंगे. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. इट इज इम्पॉसिबल दैट समथिंग लाइक दिस वुड हैव हैपेंड. तो 2-3 क्वेश्चन तो बन ही जाएंगे. सो आइडियली मतलब कुछ काउंटिंग वाले क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम देयर ना. कुछ क्वेश्चन हो जहाँ पे काउंट करना होता है बस. ऐसा दिया होगा 1+4+9+16+25 फर्स्ट 35 टर्म्स का सम निकाल के दिखाओ. भले ही मेरे को सम क्वेश्चन नहीं पता, आई विल राइट डाउन दोस 35 टर्म्स, पुट इट इन द कैलकुलेटर एंड फाइंड इट आउट. तो ऐसे 2-3 क्वेश्चन हर एक टेस्ट में होते हैं जहाँ पे ऑप्शंस प्लग इन करके आंसर आ जाएगा या फिर मैन्युअली काउंट करके आंसर आ जाएगा, केसेस बना के आंसर आ जाएगा। सो एटलीस्ट ट्राई टू गेट दोस 2 और 3 क्वेश्चंस। वो लोएस्ट ऑफ द लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट है। उसके बाद थिंक अबाउट अरिथमेटिक वाले क्वेश्चंस, थिंक अबाउट अलजेब्रा वाले क्वेश्चंस एंड वैसे कर करके यू विल काइंड ऑफ हैव 7 और 8 क्वेश्चंस दैट यू शुड बी एबल टू सॉल्व। बट एक भी नहीं हो रहा ये मैं नहीं मान सकता बिकॉज़ दीस क्वेश्चंस ऑलवेज एक्जिस्ट। ठीक है? प्रतिष्ठा श्री, which mock test series is the best? I don't know, SimCats/AimCats. So I have been associated with SimCats in the past. I have done solutions for them. I have worked with IMS, of course, but I have done solutions for SimCats. तो मैंने देखा हुआ है तो उसका फेमिलियरिटी मेरे को बोलेगा कि यार SimCats आर, अगर मेरे को एक ही आंसर देना है, I will say SimCats. If I want to give you options, then I will say SimCats और AimCats में से कुछ देख लो. You will mostly not go wrong. And two mock test series are recommended only if you are very good in terms of one mock test series. You are nailing tests like crazy. Only then will I suggest the second mock test series. Otherwise, one mock test series is generally decent enough. Prajwal, ISB take CAT score for someone with 3 years of experience. I can only see some young learners program that is for less than 1 year of experience. So Prajwal, there are from what I know, okay, I might be wrong in this because I have not followed ISB ka process, but ISB has two programs. One is a 2 year program and one is a 1 year program. 2 year program अभी 2 साल पहले शुरू हुआ है, उसका बहुत ज्यादा अभी नॉइज नहीं हो रहा, but I still think it's a decent option, right? Especially if you are in that MDI IFT kind of a league. तो 2 year program के अंदर I don't think there should be any bar in terms of maximum work ex. The one that you're talking about has 3 entry points. One entry point is something called as the early entry option, I believe, जहाँ पे pre-final या final year के people can also apply. In that case, you take the GMAT, you appear for the interviews, you secure your seat, you join after 2 years. तो कुछ weekend classes वगैरह होंगे that will keep you occupied, but you will join after 2 years of formal work ex. The second thing I think is the one that you're talking about, which is the YLP, Young Leader Program. या फिर उल्टा मैं बोल रहा हूँ, यंग लीडर प्रोग्राम के अंदर इफ यू हैव लेस देन 2 years का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस, यू कैन स्टिल अप्लाई टू ISB, यू कैन गेट थ्रू द इंटरव्यू, बट यू विल गेट अ डिफर्ड एडमिट, 1 साल के बाद ज्वाइन करो, मे बी दैट इज व्हाट दे विल टेल यू, एंड देन यू विल स्टिल गेट दोस वीकेंड क्लासेस एंड यू विल बी एबल टू. The third thing is basically the PG program that they have, which is for people like you who have about 2 years ka experience. You can directly apply and be eligible to sit for the next cohort. So broadly, these are the 3 entry points for the 1 year program. 2 year program ke liye, from what I understand, they are accepting the CAT score and they will have a process which is very similar to the ones that is adopted by most of the IIMs and non-IIMs. तो वो पूरा ही अलग स्टोरी है. YLP I think is a different one that you're talking. ठीक है. Male 878 OBC non-engineer 96-97 percentile. Can I expect top calls with this? Kamal, yes, definitely यार. मतलब थोड़ा 97 के ऊपर पुश करोगे, I think you should definitely get calls from say an IIM Mumbai for example. इंदौर कोई में से कुछ आ सकता है. There is a decent chance. So yeah, you have a very good shot at top calls. Yes. तन्मय SC category 69 83 7. BMS finance 1 year का experience. I am Ahmedabad. Tanmay, yaar, matlab, I will again, because of that 69 in 10th, I will be slightly worried. I will want to be about 90 percentile, 90, 92 के आसपास if you can target, I think that will be very nice. Manoj, IIT Bombay or IIM Mumbai possible with 757? Manoj, theoretically possible, but interviews में you will have to justify, मतलब पूरा you will have to go out of your way and पूरा ऐसे मतलब पूरा जोश में आके ऐसा इंटरव्यू देना पड़ेगा जो उन्होंने जिंदगी में कभी नहीं देखा, ऐसा इंटरव्यू you will have to deliver. But if that happens, then definitely it's possible. IIT Bombay more so possible than IIM Mumbai is what I would like to believe. But theoretically possible, practically you will have to put in your life's best effort till date. तो हो सकता है. Pratishtha ji is saying, don't say that, you aren't getting old and you will always be your favorite mentor. Chalo, Pratishtha ji, thank you for that. I really hope that somehow I am able to hold on to not aging, right? But let's see. Yeah, take it. No, no, I have not lost my grace. It's just a matter of I just say it as a fun thing. But I think I'm I don't know, aging like fine wine is what I would like to believe. Right? I recently got my 100 percentile at the CET in a test that is believed to be rigged by a lot of people. So I got 100% and that test remains one of my proudest achievements of my career till date. It's very surprising कि CET का 100 percentile कहाँ मतलब stand करेगा, but this year's का test has been under a lot of cloud, थोड़ा shadow के अंदर ही है, तो I'm very proud of what I did. So hopefully I'm not getting very old. 868 EWS male. I am Mumbai, Koikode. Cowboy, safe percentile. EWS, I don't know, are very close to 99 percentile is what I would like to believe. But even then, I don't think it's very safe given the 6 in your 12th. But yeah, if there is an option, I would like to believe 99 plus. Current EWS non-engineer male 787 JAP colleges. For JAP colleges, I think again around 95, 96 is reasonably safe. 96, 96.5 plus is generally considered to be very safe. It again depends on what happens with JAP this year. Who are the colleges that are participating? Are there any changes? So it depends on that. But 96, 96.5 is considered to be reasonably safe. एकदम absolutely safe number चाहिए तो 97 is what I would say. For general category. So current for you, I think around 94, 95 should be मतलब safe-ish. Aditya is saying your opposite view on geometry. Aditya, मैं वही बोला ना. So it's basically about how much effort you're putting and what is the return you're getting. Triangles में there are so many things to do, right? Basic properties of triangle, advanced properties of triangle, similarity, congruence, area, perimeter. Then suddenly एक p square by 48 का formula आ जाता है किधर से तो. Then you're looking at centroid, orthocenter, circumcenter, incenter. Again angle bisectors, perpendicular bisectors, Apollonius theorem, Pythagorean triplets. मतलब कितनी चीजें हैं इसके अंदर. And उसके बाद भी there is no guarantee that you're going to get the answer right because it is so dense. It's very easy to make a difficult question from triangles. Circles के अंदर again the same thing. You start with radius, diameter, length of an arc, measure of an arc, area of the sector, chords intersecting inside the circle, angles, chord intersecting outside the circle, angles, chords intersecting inside the circle, PA, PB, PC, PD, outside the circle, PA, PB, PC, PD, tangent secant theorem, two tangent theorem, inscribed angle theorem, central angle की बात कर रहे हैं, and we're talking about alternate segment theorem. Then we're talking about properties of chords, right? A midpoint of a chord, perpendicular to the chord, equidistant chords, equal chords. मतलब and उसका cyclic quadrilaterals आ गए. Then we are getting into Brahmagupta theorems of the world. We are getting into Ptolemy's theorem in terms of cyclic quadrilateral. There's so many things to do. And even then I will not be sure कि मेरा आंसर आएगा circles में. Mensuration on the other hand, if you look at prisms, prism का अगर LSA, TSA, वॉल्यूम निकाल लिया, काम खत्म हो गया. क्यूबॉइड के अंदर एक बेसिक बॉडी डायगोनल वाला कॉन्सेप्ट है, वो करना है. स्फीयर हेमिस्फीयर के फॉर्मूला है वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. कोन के अंदर अगर कोन के फॉर्मूला आ गए तो पिरामिड के फॉर्मूला भी सारे आ जाएंगे. सो 10 formulas broadly will finish off mensuration for me. Right? Parallelogram के अंदर if you are looking at parallelograms or quadrilaterals from 7 perspectives, adjacent sides equal or not, opposite sides equal or not, adjacent angles equal or not, opposite angles equal or not, are the diagonals equal, do the diagonals bisect, are the diagonals perpendicular. बात खत्म हो गया. Then you are done with parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, square. ये सारे हो गए. ट्रेपेजियम के एक आधा प्रॉपर्टीज हैं that you can handle. पॉलीगॉन्स के सारे प्रॉपर्टीज डिराइव कर सकते हैं. So that makes my life much easier in terms of polygons and mensuration. That's why the suggestion. But to each their own यार. मतलब I'm not saying कि triangles मत ही करो करके तो मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ of course. But given a choice, I will want to look at mensuration and quadrilaterals first, and then go to triangles and circles. So that is broadly what I would say. How to improve in VARC? I am stuck between 12 and 16 correct, stuck between two options in RCs and not good in parajumbles. Cowboy yaar, matlab, I don't think anybody is good at parajumbles considering the kind of parajumbles that appear at the mocks. Matlab, they are just there to matlab, put you in, get you in some trouble is what I believe in most situations. Matlab, just on a lighter note, but on a serious note, matlab, you have to be very tight in terms of what you're attempting, why you're attempting. If you refer to one answer that I gave earlier, you have to be very sure why a particular answer is the right answer according to you. You should have reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. जितने ज़्यादा reasons दे सकते हो उतना better for you. But you have to have reasons for an answer to be right over another answer. So you should also know why the other answer is wrong. तो ये सब चीजें अगर पता होंगी, then your accuracy will be slightly higher. But if you have no reasoning, broadly you are thinking कि यार ठीक लग रहा है, passage में दिया है तो वही word से तो मैंने mark कर दिया. Not really a very strong reasoning. So I'll want to be careful in that context. Monica, your profile has gone बहुत ज़्यादा ऊपर. I think 886 SC category में ABC possible है. IIT Bombay possible है Monica. So don't worry about it. But that 6 will be slightly difficult to justify during interviews. But when I said that 90-92 percentile, I meant even ABC for that matter. So around 92ish should ideally get you calls. Aiming to give CAT 27. I'm in final year. Sagar Nikam. Oh, you have a very similar name to one of the popular mentors. I'm in final year, so I will give CAT 26. Will give 26 CAT for practice. What should I do if I'm not placed after graduation? Will it count as a gap after July 27 graduation to CAT 27 timeline? Yeah, Sagar, it will count as a gap. But then again, matlab, if you don't get a job, and let's say for example for some reason you're not able to find something on your own as well, or you don't get placed, and for some reason you're not able to find something on your own as well, it will count as a gap. Yes, but if you can keep yourself occupied, you can talk about it during the interviews. So I will not be very worried about what is going to happen if you have a doubt, if you have a gap. Try to attempt it as well as you can this year. If you get a very good score this year, then why not? यार, मतलब take it up, whatever you're getting. कोई problem ही नहीं है. But if you don't get a job, it's sort of far-fetched, so don't worry about it at this point in time. People have justified much longer gaps. Does not mean that you take a gap. But even if there's a gap, I don't think there's any reason to worry about. ठीक है? प्रज्वल, it is awesome to see how you enjoy and solve live mocks, even if might not be going entirely your way. Yeah, Prajwal, it is happening very frequently these days. कि यार मतलब mock के अंदर मेरा कभी कभी बैठता नहीं है. But on that note, we are doing a SimCat on the IMS channel this Tuesday. So SimCat 9 का window Friday, right? So today I think it has started. So if any one of you is taking SimCats, do appear for SimCat 9, and then Tuesday को compare notes with what I am doing. So Tuesday को we are going to solve a SimCat live on the IMS channel. Rajni 876 fresher NIT Allahabad OBC safe percentile for black eye. Safe percentile, mm, matlab Rajni, I'm hoping that's your name. I will want to believe around 97ish percentile. 96, 97 is what I will want to believe. I don't think I'm not very sure if entirety of black eye will shortlist you, but I think you should have something from black eye at a 96, 97ish. That will be my number. Aviral, yeah, I really wanted to do that, Aviral. If you look at it, I'm very excited about the video, but the video has been received very poorly on the channel. I don't want to do stuff that will affect the algorithm of the channel. So honestly, I don't have plans of continuing the series. I was mentally prepared to do more of these, but the reception has been incredibly poor. It has been pretty bad. So unless well-wishers like you watch it multiple times, or if there is some way that we can reach out to people who genuinely like the content, I don't think it is making a comeback anytime soon. But I will really want to do more of it, because the cheat sheets were designed completely with a lot of effort, or after a lot of effort. They were designed completely by me after a lot of effort, and the questions were also handpicked by me. So a lot of effort went into those videos, but reception has been very bad, to be very honest with you. You can see the numbers in front of you. I don't want to do stuff that jeopardizes the algorithm or jeopardizes my channel, so that's why I might not do more of those. But thanks for appreciating. Matlab, people like you uh, keep my enthusiasm afloat. Sahil is saying I'm weak in VRC. Sahil, यार थोड़ा पीछे जाओ. Just go 10-15 minutes back and just listen to VRC का advice. I've covered it entirely in this video itself. So I'm near the closing time. So I'm just looking at some questions that I can answer quickly. Aditya, shower some inspiring stories of students you have seen someone moving from bad mock scores to top IMs as gem in last 4 months. Aditya, plenty of scores. Yaar. Matlab, I know someone who started preparing in the month of August, and he had come to train or get trained. And we said कि यार ये साल तो मैं ऐसे टाइम पास के लिए दे रहा हूँ, नेक्स्ट डे देखेंगे करके. But the guy was a CA, right? So वो एक अलग story है. But the guy was a CA, so I was like, यार देख के तो देख लो क्या होता है, देख लो क्या what happens. Your C profile is good, you are a CA, you are working well. Even if things don't happen, it's fine. Don't join next year's batch. Try to focus on this year's CAT. Get something because you are a CA, you have some experience of aptitude test, तो दे दो. भाई साहब के यार मतलब 90 परसेंटाइल भी बहुत मुश्किल से आ रहे थे, इन मॉक्स नहीं आ रहे थे मॉक्स में उसके स्कोर्स. एंड ऑल ऑफ अस वेर रीजनेबली कन्विंस्ड कि नेक्स्ट ईयर ही कुछ होने वाला है. Fellow gets a 95 percentility cat because of the CA background. He gets a call from I am Bangalore, I am Kozhikode, converts I am Bangalore, went to study in I am Bangalore. Next year का cat उसने देखा ही नहीं, right? I know a couple of people, both of them went to I am Ahmedabad, one with a 99.94 percentile, another went to I am Ahmedabad because again she had a very good profile, low 99s pe she got through. But both of them around this time had scored a -3. One of them had scored a -3 in some DIR section. One of them had scored a 6 in some BRC section. Almost on the verge of tears. But then The idea was, yeah, just be consistent, keep on taking mocks, don't give up at this point in time. Even if it doesn't work, you will still be able to get a job and do something with your life. Don't give up itna easily करके. And last में both of them ended up getting their best percentile at the CAT. So the guy who got a 99.94 percentile, I don't think he had scored a 99 point XX percentile in any of the mocks. There thereabouts, decent candidate, but not a 99.9 material candidate. अगर पहले देखा होता तो. But people have that thing that they peak on the day of the finals, right? I don't know. Something like, if you follow cricket, something like what Shane Watson did in that 2018 IPL final, 18-19 जो भी फाइनल था, राइट, व्हेन ही स्कोर्ड एट 100. मतलब टूर्नामेंट में चल ही नहीं रहा, फाइनल के अंदर 10 बॉल तक कुछ नहीं हो रहा, पीपल आर थिंकिंग भाई इसको रिटायर आउट कर दो. उस टाइम पे तो फैशन नहीं था, अभी होता शायद दे माइट हैव रिटायर्ड हिम आउट एज वेल. 10 balls 0 runs, you are chasing 170 180 whatever 175, and suddenly this guy goes and hits 100, right? So something like that. So a lot of people peak on the big day, on the day of the finals. They raise their game, right? And that is basically what you want to do. I don't know, recent examples, maybe you can look at Mukesh, for example, right? I don't think a lot of people gave him a chance in the candidates. Finals में भी मतलब पता नहीं था, लगा था कि नहीं होगा, they will end it at a draw, and then they will have to play tiebreakers. So that was the situation, but he was just tuned in, one mistake, and he became the champion. Now we don't really know what is happening with him, but I would not count him out come the World Chess Championship. So funny things happen. मतलब वो big match temperament is a different thing altogether. A lot of people have it. They might not express themselves during the mocks, but when the day comes and when it matters the most, that is basically when they turn up. And I have seen a lot of stories of people who, or I have seen a lot of people who do that. So some of the things that I can remember. Pinto 89, BA 58, OBC male fresher. I am Black Eye SM, FMS, IFT. So for the first league of colleges, considering you are an OBC, I will say around 96ish percentile should be decent enough. 95, 96 पे mostly हो जाना चाहिए. But to be on the safer side, I will suggest pushing it towards 97, and that ensures practically all the colleges that you have mentioned. IIT D, IFT के लिए maybe a 93ish percentile might also be decent enough. But if you are aiming for everything, then a 97 will take you practically everywhere. Rohan 889 OBC. For ABC, what should you do? Minimum percentile around 97. Some fun things, funny things might happen. But I will want you to be 97, 97.5 plus is what I would like you to be. 95, 96 पे भी हो सकता है, but 97 plus is where I would want you to be. With that academic profile, I don't think it should be very difficult. Sahil, I'm not very weak in VRC, not able to read RC, also taking gap from year after 2 years work ex. Please guide me. Sahil, again, यार मतलब VRC का ना, again, I have to be very honest, I have mentioned it earlier. If you're not able to find it out now, please let me know in the comment section. I don't want to give you some very basic advice right now and move on, because उसके पहले वाला advice था ना, that was a very good advice that I had given. Someone had asked me कि philosophy पढ़ने में fight हो रही है, या फिर VA के scores fluctuate हो रहा है. I have given like pretty detailed advice there. If you're not able to find it, please let me know in the comment section. I'll go and find out the timestamp and we'll share that with you. But I don't want to give you a half-assed answer at this point in time and you to assume that यही answer है. So please go through the as in 30-40 minutes पीछे चले जाओ. I'm sure you will find the answer. It's a very detailed answer. I'm very proud of the answer that I have provided. That's why I'm saying कि पीछे आके देखो. So sorry about that. Siddhant, 7 minutes, 1 RC, 7 minutes, 2 easy questions. Then I left 8 to 10. Caplet 36. Siddhant, that strategy seems to be fine. And 8 to 10 minutes for VA is also okay. I'll not say it's bad. But see if you can read it faster, right? Because 7 minutes on every RC will be slightly difficult to justify. The easiest RCs you should be able to solve within 4 to 5 minutes. That is broadly the idea. Because there are going to be some tough RCs which will take 8 or 9 minutes. So broadly 2 RCs, 8 minutes each, 16 minutes. One easy RC, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 21 minutes. One moderate-ish RC, around 7, 8 minutes, 6, 7 minutes. We'll leave you with 13 minutes, 14 minutes for the VA part. That is where you should aim to be ideally. So the fastest RC, you should be able to do it within 4 or 4.5 minutes. That is ideally what I should be I would be looking at. Oh, sorry, Raj. I'm so sorry. I called you Rajni. I'm so sorry, Raj. नाइन एट सेवन बेबी आयम्स, अरे 987 पीडब्ल्यूएस, डोंट लुक एट बेबी आयम्स यार, मतलब बेबी आयम्स एंड न्यू आयम्स के लिए सेफ स्कोर ईडब्ल्यूएस पे आई थिंक इट विल बी अराउंड 94 इश परसेंटाइल, 94 95 पे आई थिंक इट शुड बी रीजनेबली सेफ, बट आई विल सजेस्ट लुक एट स्लाइटली बेटर colleges. 988 Deloitte, NCOBC, FMS Delhi, and TIS Mumbai. TIS Mumbai is a very challenging question to answer because of there are so few seats that are there, and I don't really know which way they are going. मतलब CAT करेंगे, CUT करेंगे, क्या करेंगे? Even I don't know what is going to happen. तो वो थोड़ा मैं I will reserve my judgment for TISnet और TIS Mumbai, sorry. And FMS की बात अगर करेंगे तो I think it should happen at around 96 97 percentile, I think. Kiran, Siddhant, I answered that. Cowboy, should I select EWS because the cutoff is almost the same to general and there are only 500 seats in AMS? I guess also waitlist movement is low. So Cowboy, see, there is this thing that happens wherein if you are a reserved category candidate and if you can get through the general category, if you are getting a general category seat, you get allotted a general category seat. It's basically like जो ट्रेन के अंदर रिजर्व डब्बे होते हैं ना उस टाइप का है, राइट? सो लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ विमेन कंपार्टमेंट होते हैं, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि विमेन कांट ट्रैवल इन जनरल कंपार्टमेंट्स. Women can travel in general compartments, but general people can't travel in, or males can't travel in female compartments. So that's basically how reservation works. So जैसे ही तुम्हारा नाम आएगा, they will see which category के seats are available. If a general category seat is available, you will automatically get converted to general category and you will get that seat. So you need not actively try to not look at EWS, especially if you have the certificate. So that is basically how I would want to look at it. Chalo, Aditya, thank you so much, Aditya. Glad to hear that. आदित्य झा, एलआरडी अनेबल टू थिंक ऑन माई ओन, क्या कर सकते हो यार? मतलब वही है, सेट सॉल्व करो एंड बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स ठीक करो. मैंने इसके पहले भी बताया हुआ है, एक चीज मैंने बताई थी स्टार्टिंग में, मेरे को सेट्स पता होने चाहिए और सेट पीसेस पता होने चाहिए. इसके ऊपर मैंने थोड़ा चीज बताया, स्टार्टिंग में ही बताया. आई थिंक लुक एट दी फर्स्ट 20 minutes, आई थिंक यू शुड गेट दी आंसर. बट द आइडिया ब्रॉडली इज दैट यू शुड नो हाउ टू सॉल्व पजल टाइप्स. तो मैंने काफी सारे 18-19 पजल टाइप्स बताया वहां पे. एंड आई हैव ऑल्सो मेंशन्ड दैट मॉक्स आर द बेस्ट सोर्सेज टू प्रैक्टिस दी एलआर सेट्स, DLR sets. So look at that part of the session, and वहाँ पे you'll get the answer. Again, if you don't get the answer, let me know. I'll put the timestamp, or I'll ask my team to put the timestamp up. But I'm sure you will get the answer. काफी डिटेल में मैंने डिस्कस किया स्टार्टिंग. Chalo, Monica is saying, I had a very bad breakup. It's really affecting my preparation severely. What should I do? Not able to focus. Um, Monica, yaar, matlab, see, the idea is, again, you have to understand that I understand it's very difficult to move on in life, right? So, not difficult to jata hai. But then I will want to try to look at it as positively as I can. Again, it's better to end some relationship at one point in time than to keep on dragging it, hanging on to it, and let it become worse. So one thing is, now you have your mind free, because I'm pretty sure that ऐसे कुछ whim और fancy पे breakups नहीं होते generally. You might have seen some signs, you might have seen it coming. कुछ तो मतलब there is some reason, right? Generally people don't get मतलब don't break up ऐसे randomly. So वो था. I genuinely like to believe that whatever happens for a reason, and happens for your overall good at the end of the day, right? So you have to think about it in a slightly positive tone कि भाई क्या हुआ था. Just go through it organically, process your emotions properly. Generally there is this thing that I say, it is from a video game, so some people might think it's frivolous, but to grieve deep, to uh, हाँ, to grieve deeply is to have loved fully, right? So वो है, तो closure चाहिए, that is the only thing. Get your closure, whatever it takes. Write things down. How is it going to benefit you? Yeah, what were the good things that came out of this thing? What are the bad things that came out of this thing? It's fine. Everybody goes through that disappointment, and मतलब give yourself some time to grieve. That is the idea. But have that time for yourself. उसके बाद you will not really think about it. That is a promise that you want to make. Take 5 days, 7 days, कर लो सब चीज, and then try to find distractions. Try to fill up that time with something that genuinely makes you happy, and then focus on cat prep. Because if you start your cat prep now and वो अगर plan के according नहीं जाता ना, then you will start hating cat prep. तो वो redirected anger या redirected sadness वहां पे नहीं जाना चाहिए. That is what I will not want you to go through. So maybe take a break of 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it takes for you to come back. Think deeply about it. Think about your future, आगे जाके क्या होगा करके. एंड यार मतलब हो जाता है यार, पीपल गो थ्रू रिलेशनशिप्स. सो आई से इट आउट ऑफ jest, of course. I know it's not a funny thing, but I say it out of jest that generally this is not going to be your last breakup, right? I wish it is, but in most cases it isn't, right? So it's fine. It's okay to move on. It's okay to kind of give time to yourself. uh, एक स्टेप बैक लेके कम बैक टू स्क्वायर वन, स्टार्ट योर जर्नी अफ्रेश, and surround yourself by people who genuinely like you, surround yourself by activities that you genuinely enjoy doing. And that is basically all the counseling that I can give from my side, right? I'm not, of course, an expert in terms of relationships and all, but from whatever personality psychology that I have read, this is basically the most practical advice that I will give you. And matlab, it's always better for you to move on and pursue things that make you happy instead of staying in the past. So all the best with that, and all the best to all of you. On that note, I think we'll close the session. And for all those of you who have joined a bit late, कुछ questions शायद मैंने answer नहीं किए होंगे. Apologies for that. But I'm pretty sure I've covered those questions sometime in the video. So go back. This went on for much longer than what I'd anticipated. I'd anticipated 45 minutes, but it went on for 1.5 hours. So do go back and look at the pearls of wisdom that I have dropped throughout the session. And अगर कुछ चीजें जो मैंने नहीं बताई है, तो please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to help you with your question. Be as specific as possible. Then the query, then the suggestion is also going to be specific. If you are very broad, तो मेरा suggestion भी broad ही होगा, sadly, right? So do that. And again, guys, to reiterate, we have the quant workshops that are going to start from the 17th of August. If you have not checked them out, do check them out. I genuinely believe that this is one thing that will help you change your attitude towards quant in general, right? I'm not promising you you will get 40 marks, 50 marks, 100 percentile. वो सब मैं promise नहीं करता, because you know it, I know it. There are no promises, right? I can't promise the score that I'm going to get in the SIMCAT that I'm going to appear for. तो वो score वाले promises कोई तुमको दे रहा है, तो वो तुमको बेवकूफ बना रहा है. Very simple as that. तो वो मैं promise नहीं करूंगा, but I will promise you that the experience is going to be good. We are going to solve some very nice questions, and some of them might actually appear at the CAT. So I'll not be surprised if they appear at it. So that is basically the thing. And otherwise, we also have our comprehensive program and the self-learning program. Both of them are available at 50% waiver at this point in time. 15th August tak the offer is valid, so do check out those programs as well. And kuch bhi agar doubts hai, queries hai regarding the programs, the number is in front of you, the mail ID is in front of you. So do get in touch with us, and me or my team will be very happy to help you with your questions. Okay? So on that note, I'll close the session, and I'll see you again soon in another video. And hopefully that is the video that you are going to like. Fingers crossed. So do share the channel with people whom you know, so that I am able to reach out to a lot more people, and the algorithm also supports me, and I feel enthused to come up with more such content, right? That is very important for me and my team as a whole. And otherwise, also don't forget to leave a like on the video if I've answered your question and the answer has been satisfactory to you. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. I know I don't say this often, my team is going to give me a lot of grief about this, but if you are not subscribed, do subscribe. And I'm sure it will be worth your time, effort, and your bandwidth, right? So on that note, I'll close it. Have a great weekend ahead of you guys, and I'll see you again in the next video very, very soon. Till then, take care, everyone. Keep preparing, and don't forget to check out the programs. Don't forget to join the Telegram channel, like, share, subscribe, everything. Right? I'll see you again. Till then, bye, everyone.